They did also say that you can actually see ET in here if you look close enough.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. That's awesome.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the latest video on the channel. Today we are here with Josh Chapman, otherwise known as the Kitsman.
Football kit royalty, mate.
Football isn't
kit
he
royalty.
just? He's called the Kitsman because he's a man with a lot of very good kits. We all right to call you Josh, or do you
Absolutely,
prefer Kitsman, Mr. Kit?
Nah, Joshua's in trouble, mate. Josh is fine. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Josh.
Just Josh.
Perfect.
Josh is fine.
Just Josh.
Yeah.
I've got to say one thing.
Go on then.
I have never seen such an array of different types of kits, and we were off camera talking about some stuff that I didn't even know existed in the world.
Really?
He's like the modern day kit collector of just everything weird and wonderful.
So like Gavin Haig would have been back in the day.
Yeah, exactly, because he was kind of very much old school, started it when he was a kid, and I think it's fair to say, Josh, you're kind of the modern equivalent of that now.
I'd say you're spot on with that. Yeah, I mean, I personally got collecting kits when I was young, but I only classed myself as a collector in the last, 5 or 6 years. So I've always had a fascination with them, but I wouldn't have classed myself as a collector until recently.
Right.
And you're just spoiled for choice. And that's the reason why I wanted to bring a lot of varied brands of my fascination of Kappa through to sort of little lesser known brands from Sardinia and things like that.
Right. And why Kappa? I mean, I love Kappa from when I was a kid because I absolutely loved the logo.
Yeah, I do as well. That logo fascinates me. I recently did a Kappa week where I found out all about the logo and about how they were...
It was an accident, right?
Photo shoot.
Yeah,
and they
photo
saw
shoot.
man and woman back to back.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It turned into the logo, and it is just amazing. And also, you can have it singular, or you can have, I think it's called logo tape, where you can get it all the way down.
Yeah, well, that was what my jacket was when I was a kid. Just a
incredible.
Kappa jacket. It was
Yeah,
class.
and you're right. Why do I like Kappa, and why do we like it? I think it's just they're edgy, they're creative, they get things. I mean, we've got the World Cup on at the moment, Tunisia. This is one shirt which adopts the Carthage eagle.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't see it unless you're told about it.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they just know what they're doing, and they like to be disruptive too, which I don't think there's enough brands doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know when you're going to get a Kappa top, you know you're going to get a really nice marketing gig as well of it too, because they get the creative design process and they get popular culture and such. And I think that's why it resonates a lot with me, because a lot of people that have football shirts potentially don't wear them, whereas I feel that would be a shirt I would want to wear on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was a massive fan of the stuff they were doing with Villa. If you remember the badge execution on that, we absolutely loved. There's always complaints from fans, not from players, about the fit and the function of the material. I do kind of feel like they could do something a bit different and change the shape for the fans rather than keeping it as true to the players. But from a attention to detail, how they approach graphics, the narrative, like you say, they're willing to push it every season. And I think because they've refined what they're about from a functional perspective, they're still changing the silhouettes and so on, but they don't have to reinvent that side of it every season, so they can really focus on the design, which I think they always do a nice job of.
I think a lot of people get confused with the actual sizing thing. Like, for instance, that's a player fit. So that's the one with the silicone badge. You can tell it's got more of an elastic
that's lovely.
feel. This is Charleroi, a Belgian team. And this was my first understanding of the fit process. So this one is one of those player fits, and you can tell because it tapers in.
Yeah.
And whereas this here is a regular fit. So this is more true to
So it
size.
tapers out.
Yeah, it's more parachutey. But no, these are the two different fits. And I think what happened was Kappa brought these in because they were getting a lot of people that wanted to wear their shirts but couldn't, or didn't feel like they were confident enough to wear them. So I think that was quite a nice move.
Where did you buy this from?
So I got really friendly with Kappa just because I kept on posting about them. I said, Josh, we just want to send you out a couple of shirts. And I just chose the most wildest one I could.
Wow.
And this was one of them. So
That's
that was
a really nice execution.
It really is. It's
They do
layered.
such
It's
a
got
nice
detail. It just feels special.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Such a shame that because of the budget they've got for the teams they can sign, one, they don't quite get the profile that they would deserve, and then secondly, they quite often sponsor teams in divisions like in Belgium where there's sponsors all over the shirt.
I know.
It's a hard thing to work with, and we know it's got to happen, but yeah, it just makes it really difficult. If I put myself in a game of FIFA, a lot of the Kappa shirts would be my favourite to put on my team, but
100%.
it's always all the sponsor logos that put me off, and it's a shame that they can't really afford to get on board with a club where it's just a sponsor on the chest and the rest of it's just a beautiful shirt.
Yeah.
So, what else have we
What
got?
else have we got?
That one there, the black and white one's fascinating. Mate.
Yeah,
Talk
so
to me.
this is a very new league in Canada, the Canadian Premier League. They've been going for about 5 years now, very much trying to create their own stars rather than being sent over to the MLS. So they're giving youngsters a chance to go into the Canadian national team and search and become stars. This is one of their third
West
shirts.
Coast.
This is Pacific FC. This is one of their inaugural teams. They did a tribal design which celebrates the culture. So it goes back to the sort of ancestral roots.
That's the Musqueam art tribe of the Pacific Northwest.
Is that it?
Having lived in Vancouver, I can
Vouch for that.
Yeah.
They did also say that you can actually see E.T. in here if you look close enough.
Where is it?
Oh yeah, wow.
Oh my God, yeah.
So talking
Like when
about,
you pointed out, that's
it's
awesome.
there.
It's a bit like the 4 on the Newcastle kit.
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh, there he is at the bottom as well, a bit smaller.
So I mean, these are oversights, but when they're seen, it's like, oh no. But you can look past that, and if no one else knows it's there, that's great. But again,
that makes Castor's number 4 look
quite sort of tame.
Yeah.
But Macron have the 10-year license with the league, so they get to design all of their kits, and there've been some fantastic ones. The opening season, there was a church they did, and they actually had all the players there with all the kits. They had a really nice event that was put on, neon lights and such, and they wanted to really kick things off in a big way. And their kits have just evolved. There's stories in all of them as well.
Brilliant. So,
awesome.
What else have we got?
So
I'm
we've also-
intrigued to hear about these bad boys.
Yeah, so Hope and Glory. They've been going on for a little while.
Have you heard of Hope and Glory?
I feel like they might make chavvy
No,
clothes.
he hasn't.
He hasn't heard. No, they are a UK-based brand that
Sorry,
are sort of
Hope and
trying to reinvent what a football kit looks like. Bespoke designs, very lower league clubs at the moment.
This is one as well, right?
Yeah, this is actually my Sunday League team, AFC West End. They designed our kit for us, fully bespoke. They've got an eco fabric as well, which is nice. around the
Recycled
environment.
bottles, I think it was.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
They have a designer that gets things. He's a graphic designer by trade, and it's quite evident in the kits. So this is our shirt that we wear on a Sunday morning, which turns a lot of heads.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Again, we were talking off camera. One of the things that the big brands do, and do really well, obviously, is football kits. And then as it goes down into that team sports offering, they'll take like a Barcelona and they'll do a cheaper version of it for the Sunday League
Royal
teams.
blue and green.
Yeah, but I definitely think this is why the likes of Hope and Glory have been able to get into that market, because they've realised every team thinks it's a Barcelona, right?
Absolutely.
No matter what level you're at, you think you're one of those teams.
Yeah.
And I think what's great about this is they've been able to give you bespoke designs.
And it's affordable as well.
It's affordable, and it's something that, honestly, you're never going to get that from a Nike or
You're not. You're
an
going to get
Adidas
something
or
off the
anybody.
rail. You're going to get something that's not very creative. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of Sunday League teams that do that just because of the cost.
Yeah.
There are a few teams out there that want to put their identity into a kit.
Yeah, these are great.
Some of the tier 2 brands are doing that, the likes of Area, I think Macron
Yeah, that's
might
right.
be.
Macron,
Yeah, they've positioned themselves really well, getting stuck into that more grassroots level of football. So they've realised that it's going to be hard for them to go after the big fish, but they work with UEFA, kicking out the federations that
That's
don't
it.
have brand deals. It's awesome to see.
There's one kit I'm trying to delve into, because you've got a great story about your honeymoon.
The Honeymoon Sorrento.
Yeah,
which is this
so
one here.
talk us through the whole thing.
I was hoping it was going to be, your missus was expecting to go somewhere nice and you took us to Nottingham.
Nottingham's good.
So this is
all right.
This is a great story.
Yeah, so on our honeymoon, went to Sorrento. Obviously, my first idea in my head was, let's see where the stadium is, you know, trying to get an idea of where Sorrento play the football. It was always going to happen.
You are still married though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, still very happily
To a
married.
woman from Sorrento.
Sorrento. Yeah. Went into town. There was like a boutique shop, which a lot of tourists go to.
Right.
They've got
And that's this one we're talking
yeah,
about,
so
right?
when you go into the shop, you actually are surrounded by a home away and a third Sorrento shirt,
Right.
which I now know is actually just Nike teamwear that is bought, and they've created a crest and they slapped Sorrento on the front. So unsuspecting tourists will go into this shop, spend about €45 on a shirt, take it home and be, oh wow, I've got a nice little souvenir. I posted this on Twitter telling people, is there a kit you've got which you think no one else has? And I posted this on, and lo and behold, the club got back in touch. And they said, Josh, you've got the wrong kit. You've been done by the guy in town. And they said, what we want to do is we want to send you ours, which is this one here, which is the actual.
So this is a
genuine
hookie?
shirt. So that's a hookie one.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
this
high
kit's
level
involved as
hooky
well.
though, that. Fair play.
Yeah.
Well, not fair play.
It's very much sort of like a Christmas play, you know, where someone makes a costume and they put that sort of
Yeah.
glitter around the
Yeah,
outfit vest itself.
What can we do now? Oh, we've got some
three
gold
boys,
glitter
man.
left.
Absolutely. And this is the actual genuine shirt.
Okay.
To give you some perspective, this team play in Serie D, which is one of the lowest leagues in professional football in Italy. And the level of detail that's gone into this shirt shirt. If you were to actually put both in each hand, the weight of fabric, the attention to detail. Zeus, they have the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
They're a local brand as well. A guy called Emil Carelvo is their creative designer. We got talking after this actually, and I've got a friend now that is so proud of what he does. He's a genuinely nice guy as well.
It's fair to say you're more connected than the Pope.
Yeah, I'd say
Certainly in
I've
Sorrento.
got a few connections, but I think it's just because I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Well, what I was hoping to see was when you said it was like a local brand, I was hoping to see that the inside label was going to say made in Italy.
I know, and it
But
is.
sadly it isn't.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It would have been
Get a
more
free
romantic,
sticker.
wouldn't it?
I mean, how many shirts do you think they sell?
Not a lot, and it's a very good question as well. Why would they put that much attention to detail in a shirt that they probably won't sell a lot of? And I think it's just pride.
Yeah.
They don't want to put something out which is just second
Most
rate.
definitely.
a lot of
Most
that.
definitely. What else have we got?
So we've also got iSport as well from
Go on,
Sardinia.
pull it out.
This is the home, away and third shirt for Cagliari, Serie B team. We're in Serie A, I think, a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
These are very, very small brand.
Very small shirts as well, considering that's a large.
Yeah, I know. I met their CEO. He invited us to Leeds United.
Isn't there a link between Leeds owner and
I think
them?
there is.
Yeah.
And he said, look at these kits. He brought us the home, away and third. And all he did was saying, just feel that. He's like, just feel that. He was so proud of it.
I mean, there's loads of details on that,
there is
man.
the
That's
little
what I mean.
tapes in the
It
bin.
kind of reminds us of an England Umbro kit from back in the day where...
Yeah.
But they're kind of like an unknown. I mean, obviously they've not got the marketing budget of a Nike, a Puma and Adidas, but you as experts are getting excited by them, which is quite telling.
Yeah.
Excellent. So there was one more, the Notts Forest one, right?
Yeah, that's right. So this is what I tend to do when I go visit a new city. I go charity shop hunting.
Yeah.
When you can find shirts like this, back 3 or 4 years ago before football shirt culture got big again, this cost me £3.50.
Wow.
Awesome. I was at a festival with a mate wearing that shirt
Really?
earlier this year, and he got so many comments off fans of every single club imaginable.
Well, that's what I mean. And I questioned this because of a sublimation of the Umbro, sublimation of this. I thought, actually, is this real? And lo and behold, it was. You know, you can actually find grails like this. And
Yeah.
people do get rid of them, you know.
Yeah, no,
Lots.
absolutely.
Just take them down to a charity shop and you can pick up gems like this.
Yeah, that's great. And there's a whole culture now where
really is.
kids are just literally buying second-hand products. You know, you've got things like Depop.
Which is,
and,
I mean, from a kit perspective, it's awesome if you've got one that's worth a few quid, but if you're a collector, it's making it really difficult to collect them because the value of them
That's
is going
exactly
up.
it.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
often wondered myself, if ever I found something that I knew was worth a fortune in a charity shop, would I fess up and say, do you know what, I'm going to give you a bit extra for this?
That's exactly the conundrum I've had on occasion. Like, do you know what you're getting rid of here?
Yeah.
But did you though?
No.
No. There you go. So, that's
There we
it.
go. So now we know all about Josh's
Fantastic.
character, morals and values and his collection. No, thanks so much for
Yeah,
coming in,
totally.
Josh, honestly.
Thank Really enjoy it.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do a part 2 because
That's a good
we're
idea.
going to absolutely flip this round where we're going to ask Josh to fire some questions at us with some of the kits that he's got, because as you can see, there's absolutely thousands of kits that he's brought with him. So yeah, tune in for the second part, and yeah,
If you've enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're watching this on our Patreon channel already. Thanks very much for your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.
thanks Josh.
Thank you.
I hired a designer years ago and he was colourblind. Absolutely hilarious. I'd never lived that down. Then now he's ended up working in denim, which probably works far better for him because it's just one colour.
Blue.